Ozonics Killerwinds podcast back again. We got the nuke. We got me. Let's do this.
Let's roll.
Okay, so
What are we talking about today?
no. That's my line. So, what are we going to be talking about today? We're going to be talking about now what? Season is winding down.
Yep.
It's the best sound effect for that statement. It really stinks.
Yeah.
And a lot of us, me included, are saying, now what do we do? Now what do we do? You know?
Yeah.
But
For us, I think it's a little different, though.
why is that?
Show season.
Yeah. But it is different, but it isn't different, right? Like we are, kind of shift to the new thing, but that's part of our job, and everybody else has jobs, and they shift to their next thing too, right?
No, for sure. I'm just saying from a point of getting out there.
Yeah. Before we get into the now what section of the podcast, we're going to talk about something that happened to me last Saturday, which is the most bizarre thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we've talked about possums on this podcast before, which just seems really random, and it is. But I experienced something last Saturday that I had no idea. So Nick and I went out hunting last Saturday. Nick's Uncle Zip and a good friend of his named
Zach
were cool enough to let us borrow a couple muzzleloaders, which shout out, thank you so much. That's awesome. And we've had deer have been pretty sparse on camera. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like we were kind of talking, it's like, well, it's like, it's not that doesn't mean they're deer there, but where we have cameras, if they're there, they're going to walk by.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a pile of does back on the thermal hub. It's like, man, that would be pretty handy. We could try that. And we've had deer on this bottom field. It's like, you know what? Let's go different directions. I'll go sit near thermal hub off this dike road, kind of between thermal hub and crossroad. And if they come out there, which they came out there the day before, I'm like, well, and the wind was kind of squirrely to get too close to it. You know what I mean? So I could kind of stay away, especially with the muzzleloader. I could just, with the muzzleloader, I could reach out and touch them. So I set up there, and then you set up down on the bottom field. Well, as I'm sitting there, get all set up, I had like a little ghillie net kind of around me, gun on the tripod, ready to rock and roll. I see this possum walk down this little dike road towards me. And I'm kind of eye level with it. And so I see it, and I'm like, oh, there's a possum. Well, it just keeps walking. It walked up to 10 yards from me, just like right there. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, it starts biting the grass, like biting it, like it was going to eat it. And I'm thinking, do possums eat grass? Like it was just dried, dead yellow grass, like just long grass on the side of the road, this little 2-track. I'm like, is it going to eat the grass? Like, what is it doing? And it's biting the grass, and it's like pulling it out. And then it would bite it and pull it out, and it's pulling out all this grass and biting it. And then it started to like take it and with its front feet and kind of gather it together and push it between its legs, like towards its belly. And it was like kind of like hunching up, and it was like gathering it with its back legs. I'm like, what are you doing? And it kind of looked like it was like humping the ground. I'm like, what are you doing? And finally it kind of turned, and you can see it was using its tail almost like a strap.
Yeah.
It was pulling the grass out with its mouth, biting it, pulling it out, stuffing it underneath of its body from its front legs, pushing it back to its back legs, and then pushing with its back legs, and then using its tail to kind of grab it. And you can see it turns. I took a video of it, and it's got this whole big, huge clump of grass grasped in its tail.
Yeah.
And it just like did it for the longest time. And then finally I was like, oh, that's enough. And it just turns and it just like waddles off.
Dragging the grass.
Yeah. And then 10 minutes later, here it comes back. Oop, okay, time to get more. And it went around biting and pulling all this grass, grabbing with its tail, grabbing this little bale of grass, and then walking off. And it did that seriously like 6 times. It was the most bizarre thing.
So funny.
We've talked about on this podcast before, like, what are possums? What's the purpose? They're technically a marsupial. You know, like when they have their babies, they go in this little sack like a kangaroo.
Yeah.
It's like really crazy. It's like, this is so crazy.
Yeah.
And like they've got this hairless tail.
Yeah.
Like, what is it for? Do they hang from it? Like, why would they have a hairless tail? Well, found a use for the hairless tail.
Yeah.
I thought it's, as I watched, I'm like, I feel like I completely knew what the purpose of a possum was.
Yeah.
Even how it was biting the grass, and its face has got really short hair, and it's the way its snout and its teeth, it was perfectly biting and pulling that grass. Like it was been doing that for how many hundreds of years.
Right.
It was just the craziest thing.
It's hilarious.
Like just one generation after the next, using its tail to carry this grass away.
Yeah.
It was so crazy.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like, I think sometimes, and it was, again, this makes me look like a crazy person because I'm having this big epiphany of a moment over a possum. But I'm sitting out there, and it's kind of a bummer because it's the end of the season, and you're kind of like, golly, you know, you're reflecting, you're looking back, and it's like, oh, God, maybe this may be my last sit. You know, I don't know if I'm able to sneak out, and what's the weather going to do, and da-da-da-da. And everything's kind of bare and cold, and, you know, you just basically see kind of two colors, like white and tree bark. You know, like that's the only two colors you see out there, snow and the trees. And here walks up this possum, and I see something that you feel like when you're out there, at some point you're like, man, I feel like I've seen everything. And then you see something you've never seen before. Right. And it was just kind of a cool moment. Mm-hmm. It's like, you know, whether I kill a deer or not today, see a deer or not today, like that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Like I can go home and show that to Jet and Finn and Rush, and they're going to think it's really cool.
Yeah.
Jet, when I showed Jet, he looked at me with just this like same thing as me, just this look of like, what the heck? Like I didn't know it uses tail for that. I'm like, I didn't either.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
That was kind of random, but it was just kind of neat to see it. And he just went on his merry way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Off you went.
Yep. Okay, so let's get into what we actually want to talk about. Now what? It's getting to be the time of year, like I said, where seasons are winding down, especially in the Midwest. Mm-hmm. There is still some seasons going on. There's still some seasons in Iowa.
Yeah, a couple days.
There's a couple days of late muzz, and then there gets to be a January antlerless season for leftover antlerless tags. Mm-hmm. That usually ends up being a lot of southern counties. Yeah. Some counties on the east, maybe. So there'll be a handful of counties and guys and girls are gonna get out there and are really gonna bale some hay. And this is where honestly I think a lot of guys really start to do their doe patrol. Yeah. In those southern counties. Yeah. When they know they're really you're starting to see a congregation of deer on food sources, and they really go out there and they really pele them. Mm-hmm. Got to be careful that you're not shooting shed bucks. I didn't actually tell you that today. So when I drove to work, I went a different route because I had to stop at my mother-in-law and father-in-law's, and there was 3 deer getting ready to cross the road as I'm driving down this blacktop. I think you can kind of figure out where I was. Mm-hmm. And I'm driving, and these deer, one's standing in the ditch, 2 are standing right by the fence. So I slow down, and I'm like, come on, go across. And I just kind of creep by him. The deer in the ditch was a shed buck. So he whirled around, and when he whirled, I could see the spots.
We had one on camera
and
last night.
He was a good looking deer.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a big bodied son of a gun.
We had one on camera last night, fully shed.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a little preface into what we're going to kind of talk about. Mm-hmm. One of the things when it gets to be, well, now what do you do when season's over? It is a great time to be shed hunting. Yeah. And honestly, I feel like this year is lining out for shed hunting very well. Mm-hmm. A normal winter would be the season as the October turns into November, turns into December, turns into January, colder, snow. Yeah. And then you have to usually wait until February, March to get out there and really do some serious shed hunting, because a lot of times those bucks will just hold them. Yeah. They hold them later, you know what I mean? And or when they drop them, they get buried in snow. And so it's this mad dash later in the winter to get out there into the early spring and do some shed hunting when the snow starts to melt, and all of a sudden they appear. But this year I feel like is a little bit different. We've had such this cold weather, and you're going to talk about the reason that they shed maybe isn't what we maybe think it is. Mm-hmm. I feel like the cold weather as most of Iowa's had, and how it got into single digits for weeks. You know what I mean? Yeah. kind of really made it so all of a sudden you're like, hey, man, I need to just survive.
Yeah.
The last thing I need is these antlers on my head. And so what we were hearing, and I've heard it and I've seen it on social media, is a lot of guys that are finding sheds or seeing shed bucks on camera earlier than they ever have.
Yeah.
We got all that snow, but now all of a sudden we're getting this awesome warm up.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, I was in Des Moines yesterday and it was 50 degrees.
Yeah, exactly.
You get from Mason City to Des Moines, you get to Ames and there is no snow left.
Right.
Susie was with me and I told her, I said, man, if I had the day off, I know exactly what I'd be doing, you know? And so all of a sudden, usually in January, everything's buried. Antlers are buried with snow. That's not happening right now.
Right.
So, and you've been hearing it too. A lot of guys are out there finding them.
Yeah.
And so it just feels like if you're looking for something to do right now, man, I get out and do some shed hunting.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But you did some cool research about why do they actually shed? That's the real question.
Yeah.
And we've talked about antlers growing in velvet, right? And it's interesting how that kind of ties in together with how and why they shed.
Yeah, it's basically the exact same thing, just opposite, sort of.
Yeah.
So right away, antler growth, mineralization, and casting, which they call it casting, shedding antlers, they call it casting.
Okay.
It says that it's largely controlled by hormones and is controlled by hormones and regulated by photoperiod, the amount of light per day.
Okay.
So just like so essentially it's just like when deer shed their velvet. It comes at a time of year where it says here in the photo period, it is when daylight is decreasing, that will increase the testosterone. So this time of year, the daylight is increasing, which is decreasing the testosterone.
Right.
So essentially, it's kind of cool how it all kind of comes full circle, because at one point in the year, what the daylight is doing is making them grow more, shed their velvet, and then pretty soon after, just few months later, it does the exact opposite. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool.
That is really, really, that's a really mind blow to think about.
Yeah, it is.
Because like the days are getting longer. Like right now, the days are getting longer, but it's causing them to shed. And then all of a sudden, the summer they get longer. They're growing, and then when the days start to get shorter, their level increases.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, it kind of switches.
Yes. Exactly. Yep. And a couple other things that they talked about is injuries can impact testosterone levels. So they say a lot of times that bucks that potentially get hit or hit by a car, you name it, a lot of times those bucks tend to shed earlier, because essentially their body just kind of goes into freak out mode and drops their testosterone levels way quicker than that of a regular deer who is healthy. And it says here that the testes are the major producers of testosterone. So an injury to them can reduce testosterone levels quicker. As can injuries to the buck's body.
Man, getting kicked in the nuts is just never good.
Yeah, exactly. It's just insane that that's an actual thing.
Well, and it's funny because as we're talking about this, and all jokes aside, you know, you talk about injuries could stunt. You just wonder when it gets really, really, really bitter cold.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they're hungry.
Well,
And it's all of a sudden, I mean, you think if we were just outside all the time, you're just constantly trying to burn calories.
Yep.
You would think that would make their testosterone level drop
well,
from that.
And that's another thing that they talked a lot about was the fact that, you know, obviously nutrition plays a huge role in it.
Yep.
They did a big study comparing bucks shedding antlers that are in more ag areas compared to like dense timber.
Okay.
And they said that the bucks in the dense timber almost always shed earlier.
Interesting.
Because there's less nutrition, and it kind of makes sense.
100% makes sense.
Yeah. Yep.
Wild.
Yep. And then another thing they talked about too is harsh winters. And I think that is what we're experiencing right now, because it's not only a harsh winter, it's almost like we've had 4 of them because it got super cold. We got a bunch of snow, warmed up, broke really cold again.
Now it's warmed up again.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we've had colder weather and more snow this year already than we had the first cold snap, and the snow was all of what we had last year.
Yep.
When we saw bucks in spring turkey hunting,
Yeah.
holding bull sides,
Yeah.
we had the mildest winter last year.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting.
Yep. And then another interesting thing is they they talked a lot about how buck to doe ratio can affect it too.
Okay.
Because if there's more does in the area and less bucks, it takes the does longer to get bred, so they're going to stay in estrus longer.
Yep.
And that estrus keeps the testosterone going. And so they're going to hold their testosterone. Their testosterone levels will be higher for a longer period of time.
So Bentley is going to hold his longer.
Probably.
Yeah, because he was chasing a doe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, probably. But what you got to remember, though, is there's so many factors that you just wonder if what this weather is doing to them. You know what I mean?
Well,
it's super interesting.
I'll tell you what. And this is the mystery of whitetails.
Yeah.
You know who actually, the only one that knows what's going on? Them.
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously.
Yep.
They're the only ones that know. And that's what's so cool about them.
Yep.
Why do you go there? Why do you live here? Why did you walk there? Why do you grow that? Why do you grow them like that? Why did you let them fall off?
Yeah.
What's happening? Why? It's all, I mean, obviously people are always trying to put the science behind it, but there still is this mystery.
Yeah.
And that's what's so magical about it.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yes.
Like there's only one person or thing that really knows, and it's them.
Yes.
It's pretty crazy.
And just to, I want to go back to a little bit about the estrus and the does.
Mm-hmm.
They explain it really good here, and I kind of just riffed it off the top of my head, but I just want to explain it a little bit better. But it says here that his name is Dr. Bubnik, I think. Bubnik. Said an unbred doe's pheromones can keep bucks' testosterone levels elevated.
Interesting.
And just so everybody knows, you can go and find this article online. It was an article by written by Kip Adams, and
Who we've had on the pod.
We've had him on the pod, and it's he works for the National Deer Association. That's where I pulled this article off of.
Yeah.
This one is kind of interesting too. This is the last one, but it says in here that dominance status can also impact testosterone. In northern regions, dominant bucks often shed their antlers earlier than younger, smaller deer. This may be related to the nutritional status, as many but not all older bucks partake heavily in the breeding season. It may also be related to younger bucks experience less dramatic decreases in testosterone levels. Bucks skip many meals during the breeding season, and those that rut hard may be in poor post-rut condition. This can occur when abundant forage is available for deer. These bucks are choice candidates for early antler casting as long as another overriding factor isn't present.
Interesting.
Which that makes sense because, I mean, you think about, look at Brutus, for example, that he was running like crazy.
I know.
He was all over the place, and it would make sense that, his body is probably in way worse condition than that of a 2-year-old buck.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's so wild how a deer's life revolves around the rut.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy when you think about it.
Yep.
But the rut revolves around the gestation period of a doe and how long it takes her to have a fawn.
Yeah.
And the does want to be bred, and the peak of the rut is when, in the mystery of what they are, their body says, this is the prime time for me to be bred based on the evolution of what my body says when I will have a baby to give her the best chance, or he the best chance to make it through.
Yeah.
And so then that dictates the calendar of the rut.
Excuse me.
Nope. That dictates the calendar of the rut. That dictates what the bucks are doing.
Yeah.
And then when their antlers grow, when their antlers shed, and their testosterone level going up and down, it's just so crazy to think about. There's like all this stuff going on.
And the overarching thing is just the amount of daylight in a day or for the time of year, which is just really, really cool to think about, I think.
Yeah.
Super interesting.
Yeah, no, it 100% is.
But yeah, so that, I think, obviously shed hunting is a big thing, but when we kind of talked about doing this, we just started thinking about, well, why does a deer shed antlers? What could be causing them to shed early? And I think this article did a really good job showing that,
And you and I both know I like me some facts.
Yep, big fat guy.
I love me some good facts. Give me some facts.
Yep.
Well, that was good. I like that. That's awesome, man. I'll tell you what, if you listen to that and you don't want to go out shed hunting now,
yeah,
I don't know what's wrong with you.
And a couple other things I came up with too is as I was actually just watching some YouTube videos of shed hunting, and it's just interesting, just finding south-facing slopes where the
Oh, yeah.
sun's hitting them. I seen one little clip saying that like 90% of the sheds that this guy finds is either on his food plot
Yeah.
or 50 yards off of it.
Mhm.
And it's like, don't overthink it. Like, it makes sense. Like, these deer are in major recovery mode after the rut.
Yeah.
They want to be in the safest spot possible, close to food, so where that they can just get up, go grab a bite to eat, and go back and lay down and start to recoup a little bit. It's super interesting.
Yeah. Well, and I honestly feel like that's a great segue into the second thing we were going to talk about with the now what. And you start to think about when you get to the end of the season and you're trying to figure out, well, what do I do now? Do some e-scouting.
Yeah.
To your point, to go and figure out where those south-facing slopes are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've talked about this before. You know, think about a whitetail's day, like just like commuting to go to work and then commuting to go home.
Yeah.
You know, they get off the highway and they get off on an exit, you know, and they're going to get off on a side street. They're going to go, but then they're going to get home pretty quick. You know what I mean? And as this time of year, to your point, they want to go from food to where they're going to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you can start to really look at your pieces or even if you're going to go shed hunt public ground
Yeah.
and start to pick things apart, whether you're using Onyx or Spartan Forage, you know what I mean? And really start to dissect, okay, where do I want to try to put my time in?
Yeah.
If I'm going to try to do some shedding or just, you know, killing two birds with one stone, I want to just go out and scout a new piece and I want to shed hunt.
Right. Exactly.
You know, I feel like you're right on track there. And I feel like that can be huge,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and another thing with the e-scouting too is, I mean, this year is a little different year just because right now it'd actually be a great time to go get some boots on the ground right now rather than e-scouting. But
Yep.
if it is a super harsh winter and there's 2 feet of snow out and you don't really feel like going trudging through public and whatnot, that would be a good time to do the e-scouting. Pick some spots that you want to go check out. So when we lose some snow and we start being able to see the ground floor, actually, then you can go get boots on the ground. I know that me and you have done a lot of that in the spring, just going and checking some spots out. And
Well, and I tell you what, our primary spot, I feel like we've talked about, and I keep saying we've talked about this before, but I really want to do some e-scouting within, I don't even know what to call it. Like almost like proximity, like tree stand proximity, trail cam proximity, and looking at just taking our piece and going, okay, what are we not covering here?
Yeah.
Where could the deer be going?
Yeah.
Where, even if like, you know, if we were going to just go, if we start to draw like a small, medium, and large circle,
Yeah.
you know, a red, yellow, green circle, red small, yellow bigger, green bigger, and where do these circles not overlap in a very close, tight proximity, a larger proximity, and a larger proximity from that?
Yeah.
I think doing that with e-scouting can be so huge.
Yeah, for sure.
And to say, because there's spots that I've already been doing this on Onyx and just kind of taking screenshots and just kind of like, okay, if I were to look at it from here and here and here, and we know where we need to put more time from an e-scouting perspective and a boots on the ground perspective on what are we not covering, you know? And so I think that, the e-scouting thing, it can be huge.
Yeah, and I just think it's fun.
Yeah.
It's cool just to go on there and just see. And
Well, and the other thing about it too is yes, the days are getting longer right now, but they're still super. I mean, by 6 o'clock, it's pitch dark.
yeah.
So you're not probably going out and putting boots on the ground looking for sheds at middle of the night.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean?
obviously
So
not, yeah.
what are we all doing? We're all sitting in our houses. So if
Yeah.
you're sitting there and you've got your phone, turn off the TV and put some time in.
Maybe
Go sit at the table, get out your computer or get out your phone and set it out, get a pad of paper and start jotting some things down.
maybe even cast it to the TV.
Hey, cast to the TV. Hey, if you're in your truck and you're in park, put it on the old display.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I will be the first to tell you, I have been doing some distracted driving here over the last like month and a half.
Yeah.
I bought a used truck and it's a newer than what I had before. And it has a screen that you can have like your phone CarPlay.
Yeah.
And
put Onyx on there.
oh my goodness,
That's pretty sweet.
well, it's more than pretty sweet. It's distracting.
Yeah.
I just look at it the whole time. I have to like, okay, I got to look at the road.
Yeah.
And I have to get off of it.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah. And you do it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Especially in the summertime
Yeah.
when I'm driving around, like trying to film velvet deer and stuff like that. Just kind of put pins where.
I remember where I was. I shouldn't say where I was. I remember the first time I was with a buddy. We were down in like South Central Iowa, and his truck was new enough that he had a screen, and he's like, I remember he's like, watch this.
Yeah.
And he plugged his phone in and it brought it up, and I'm like, no way.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
I'm like, and he drives a Chevy Silverado, and I'm a Ford guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I want a Chevy. Because I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's super cool that you can do that.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
Yep.
Yeah, man, taking that to the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do some e-scouting. I'll tell you what, that's a great idea. And the other point about that is look at you and I. We're going to be on the road here shortly. We've got consumer shows coming up. That's the only scouting that we'll be able to do.
Yeah, seriously.
Or the non-resident that's looking to try to draw an Iowa tag this year or draw whatever tag this year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I mean, I know I'm already thinking about Alaska. I've spent a bunch of time on Onyx.
Yeah.
Just looking at, I'll tell you the other thing I like about Onyx is the 3D maps.
Yeah, that's
Man,
super
fun.
cool.
Turning them and looking at them,
Yeah.
especially for me with the mountains.
Yeah.
Actually, it's kind of funny. I think we maybe talked about this, just you and I. I got really obsessed with looking at 3D maps of Onyx of where I go in Alaska, and I found sheep on the mountain.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I found sheep on the mountain in the pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
That's
like,
cool.
and you could see their shadows. I'm like, okay, that one's standing up, that one's laying down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I called a buddy of mine. I'm like, and I directed him to it too. I'm like, okay, zoom in right here. Okay, see that cut? Go up there on the left. See that little flat? And it was so funny. He's like, that's it. They're there. You know,
Yeah.
like, so, you know, it was pretty fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, do some e-scouting.
Yeah. Yeah, another thing that you can do that's really good right now is some predator hunting.
Oh yeah. We were going to kind of lead with that one, and then we got really caught up.
Sidetracked.
We got caught up in the shed hunting.
Yeah.
But no, and I'll tell you what, I feel like the shed hunting is the thing, especially in Iowa. We have no snow, right? It's all starting to go away, but that can kind of turn on a dime. Like we're supposed to get some snow today, and then all of a sudden we get dumped on.
Yeah.
And that can make that a bit more challenging. But when it makes shed hunting a bit more challenging, all of a sudden predator hunting really comes back to the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're sitting here going, man, now what? Season's getting to be over. What else can I do? It's a great time to get out there and do some predator hunting.
Yeah, no doubt.
Not only one, because it's just really fun. It's super exciting, but it's a great way to help your deer out.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, look at you and me. How many coyotes have we been getting on camera?
Ooh, a lot.
Well, we get coyotes on camera, and then we don't get any deer on camera at all.
Yeah.
The coyotes walk by, and it's a good day that everything just clears out.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, it's a great time of year to get out there, whether you're e-calling or just mouth calling. I mean, you know, I think everybody thinks like, oh, I gotta have a rifle. Man, when I was a kid, we used to coyote hunt with shotguns. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you gotta just do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
It's still really fun to be out there. You know what I mean? And even if you maybe not be killing them, I'll tell you what, like you scare them away, that's kind of helping too, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah, no
maybe that just gives that deer just one extra night. You know what I'm saying? So, and the big thing with that too is obviously you're using your ozonics during the fall.
Yep.
It's helping you with the deer, but you can use ozonics when you're predator hunting. It can be a huge part of that hunt as well.
Massive advantage.
Oh man, dude. Again, coyotes are no different than whitetails. They're no different than elk or anything else. They're going to come in. They're going to circle on that downwind side.
Yep.
And so if you can get your ozonics set up and get that ozone exhausted on the downwind side, that dog's going to come in. He's going to circle downwind.
Yeah.
And so to use your ozonics to help eliminate that odor, it can give you a huge advantage. Like I said, when I used to work in Colorado, we did a lot of predator hunting. I've got buddies out. Actually, we'll see him in a few weeks here. That's out in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. That area does a lot of red fox hunting, does a lot of coyote hunting.
Yep.
Is running an ozonics to help on that downwind side.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Exactly.
it just gives you that little extra. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You know, if they you hear me talk about 10 seconds, 10 feet, 10 yards, 10 steps.
Yeah.
You know, and that in a predator hunt can make all the difference.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like too with predator hunting, like you're calling from one spot, you might have some sort of little rabbit distress, little tail flagging or whatever.
Yep.
Like where they're gonna come from.
Yep.
And that they're going to be playing the wind.
Mm-hmm.
So really, I mean, it's kind of a slam dunk with the ozonics. I mean, you know exactly how to set it up and kind of where you're expecting them to come from. And yeah, I think it's just a huge advantage.
Yeah.
Well,
and again, the other part about that too is I think, and I hear this, I've heard this more and more in the Midwest, is you hear about, and what's gotten so popular in like night predator hunting, right?
Yeah.
But the thing of it is then you hear what you hear from there is you hear about coyotes getting call shy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, when they get call shy and they don't just line right out in, guess what they do first? They circle
downwind.
They circle downwind, right? When they start to get call shy, then they really circle downwind.
Yeah.
They're not just barreling right in.
Yeah.
And so that's where, again, the ozonics can be such a powerful tool.
Yeah.
In those situations.
And I feel like too, the reason they're getting call shy is because they're getting downwind and smelling you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it's just, I mean, I'll tell you what, I've lived and died by this for a lot of years. Their ears can play tricks. Their eyes can fool them. Their nose doesn't lie.
Yeah.
Their nose is the truth.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
They trust that, man.
Yeah.
They see, like you're just describing, in these e-calls, they've got some sort of tail or a flag, something that's out. It's, it's moving.
Yeah.
And they may see that, okay, here we go. Or they hear the call, okay, here we go. But when push comes to shove, they don't trust their eyes. They don't trust their ears. They trust their nose.
Yeah, exactly.
They trust their nose.
Yep.
And it's funny because we have guys walk up at the consumer shows every year. And, and it's funny because like, they kind of all fit the same mold. They ask a lot of questions like, they're kind of thinking about it. And then eventually it's, so could you use this for predator hunting? Absolutely you could.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Yep.
Yes, you absolutely could. Like I said, when I was in Colorado, when I've hunted with my buddy in Pennsylvania, we would just, it's the ozonics, like where the easy mount is, it's got a quarter 20.
Yeah.
And any tripod, you can thread it on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we would just put a tripod above us and sit in the tripod.
Right.
Or like I said, in Iowa, we have a lot of fence lines, right? Tons and tons of fence lines everywhere. We've got the new smart clamp, which is perfect for those situations.
Yeah.
Or even just if you've got your gun set up and you've got the tripod that you're running, to just take a smart clamp and clamp it on the leg of the tripod.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so easy. You've already got the gun right in front of you. You've got your tripod set out. This is the downwind side. Just clamp it off that leg.
Yeah.
We're not worried about you. We're worried about the odor coming off of you. And so just get it pointed in that direction. Bugs Bunny. Get it pointed in that direction, just right off your tripod with the smart clamp.
Yeah. I mean, you could even if you're, sitting up against a tree, just run it just like you're in a tree stand. Just
Exactly.
take your tree screw it in, put your smart arm on, and you're ready to roll.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, how many places that you go, there's H braces that just got big wooden posts. Like, just screw it in.
Yeah, exactly.
No, 100%. Yeah, I'll tell you what, predator hunting can be pretty fun. And it's not just, obviously, the winter is where a lot of guys bale hay. And that's when, obviously, the coyotes are prime. And if you're trying to sell them, you're going to get your best bang for your buck. But you can do predator hunting you could do it whenever you want. But it's a great time to do it basically now all the way through the spring into the early summer.
Yeah.
You can go from rabbit in distress, pup in distress during the winter months to all of a sudden a fawn in distress.
Yeah, exactly.
Into the spring, into the summer.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've been a part of that and watched coyotes line out on a fawn in distress call. It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
And again, the foliage isn't up. Everything's not like, it's not like the corn's knee high by the 4th of July. It's April, May.
Yeah.
First part of June. So that's a great time to do it as well.
Heck, you can put out some turkey decoys.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. Yeah, no kidding. And I'll tell you what, I don't know, and this isn't unique to where we are, but we have a lot of coyotes running around. And coyotes that aren't stupid. They know, this year even we've had coyote. Was it this year or last year we had? I don't feel like we've had coyotes chase deer through. But last year we did. No, I did.
We definitely.
The day I didn't go with you, remember I had those 3 coyotes come through.
Yeah, and they came out to me, but then I could see up on the ridge when they kind of worked back that way. I could see
Yes.
up on the ridge just like 20 deer just
Yeah.
hauling the mail.
Yes, exactly. And last year when I hunted that doe only spot, that was in the rut.
Yeah,
I had a doe run through like she was on fire.
yeah,
Here comes 2 coyotes right behind her. Not right on her, but close enough.
yeah,
And then they got off, and then all of a sudden here she came barreling back by, and less than a couple seconds behind her, there they were.
yeah,
I mean, they were just going to be like, you know what? We're just going to, like, that's the thing. They can run. They can run and run and run and run.
Oh, yeah.
And so they'll just keep running.
yeah.
I mean, geez, look what we experienced this year with your buck. I mean, Skinny
Yeah,
Pete
crazy.
had a fight. And when that all happened, we talked about that. I'm like, man, dude, we'll see if it makes it through the night.
Yeah.
Because they're there. I mean, every night we go out there, we hear coyotes yipping and howling.
And close too.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
They're
yeah.
right there.
Yeah. It's funny because I never feel, I've had this conversation with like a couple buddies about like hearing coyotes and having a little bit of a spooky feeling. I don't ever feel that way.
I don't really either.
But I wonder if I should. I don't know. I mean, I like, and it's funny because I'm only saying that because they tell me like, well, man, I don't know. Like, what would happen if like a dozen coyotes walked out in the field? Because, like, yeah, one, who cares? But a dozen?
Yeah.
And they all of a sudden go, hey, you know what? I'm good. Like, I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah.
But if you're a deer, I mean, think about Skinny Pete,
Yeah.
and it's kind of interesting to think about how fine of a line that is.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I think coyotes are smart.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I mean, well, just like crows or ravens. Think about that. Crows fly around all the time. Coyotes are running around all the time. And they look at a deer and they're like, yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Crows flying over, they're looking down at deer and they're looking down, they're like, yep, those are all good. And then all of a sudden one day, that same deer that they have looked at how many hundreds of times, have walked by in the woods or saw him on the edge of the field, and he looked at him and was like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
There was one day they walked by and all of a sudden they saw Skinny Pete.
Right.
They smelled Skinny Pete.
Mhm.
They smelled blood on the ground. And all of a sudden it changed.
Yep.
And all of a sudden those coyotes were like, well, now what are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly.
And then the fight was on.
Right.
And those crows do the same thing. They saw Skinny Pete there how many days, and all of a sudden he wasn't laying down the way he should be laying down. All of a sudden his legs are splayed out.
Yeah.
Well, that means something's wrong, and they come swooping down, and then they do their thing, and they eat their eyeballs.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just crazy to think about.
Yeah, it is.
Like that there's this like bizarre, like unwritten code and law out there that they all abide by.
Yeah.
And the coyotes are kind of like the police.
Yeah.
And if you're weak, they're going to take you down. Only the strong survive. That's the rule.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is wild. Yeah, I've only gotten scared one time of coyotes.
Really?
Yeah, I was pretty young. I bet you I was 17. I was still in high school for sure. And there's a spot that was really, really good at home. And a lot of times it was corn right up to it, so you'd have to kind of sneak through the corn to get in and out, which is not ideal, but it worked. It's just kind of loud. But there was one night, it was probably the last 10 minutes of light, and a pack of yotes just started just bellowing, like close. I'm like, oh my gosh, these things are right here. I'm like, oh, whatever. Who cares? They're close by. It's no big deal. Well, all of a sudden, I bet you I had 6 of them just walk right under the stand, and like I saw one kind of come by this way, then I seen one in the corn going this way. I'm like, man, I gotta walk through this dang corn, and it was pitch black out, and I was walking through, and they lit off again, like so close, and it was literally one of the most puckering experience I've ever had. It was pretty scary.
Yeah, no, and like I said, that's why, like when I've heard this being said to me, like, oh man, you got to think about that. I'm like, why? They're coyotes. I have experienced where I've shot a deer and then waited, like, oh, I got to when in doubt, back out, or when in doubt, give it a little time. And then I go there and I've walked up on coyotes eating it.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, get out of here. And then they boop, and they just haul, you know, like you see them in your tree stand, they get downwind and they're just like, a lot of times, see ya. And they're, and so it's like, you know, or I've had coyotes literally come through the woods and be looking up, you know, and they see and they're gone.
Oh yeah.
You know, so just your silhouette or they just see you. So like I'm never that afraid of it.
Yeah.
But then, and you've seen this video too, that Instagram video, right? There was a guy, he was somewhere in the north. He was either in Alaska or the Canadas or somewhere, and he's walking down a road. He's walking down a road, and a coyote starts following him down this road, just trotting behind him. And he's filming it. And at first he's like, hey, look at this coyote. Look how close he's getting to me. It's like, it's just tame. Look at him. He's like, hey, guy. And he's kind of like, and the coyote's kind of like would get closer and then run away. And then he kind of get closer and run away. And he was just like, and he's just walking along. He's just walking. He thunk back. That coyote's just trotting right along. He's like, oh, okay, whatever. And he was like at like it almost looked like he was working in like an oil field, but it was like in the mountains or something, right? He's walking down this road, and all of a sudden, the coyote starts to kind of get closer and closer. And then as he's walking, he almost kind of wasn't even paying attention to it. And all of a sudden, that coyote nipped at his boot. And he's like, hey, guy, whoa, hold on a second. And then it was on. And the coyote's like, and you could hear the tone change in the guy. Was like, oh, hey, buddy, to get away from me. It was like, okay, I'm a little scared now.
Yeah.
And that coyote, and that's what they do, right? They don't take you down with a single bite. They take you down with 100 bites.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's how they took Skinny Pete down. It's not the one little bite. We flipped Skinny Pete over, and what did we see?
Mm-hmm.
His whole one side was just, there was no hair left. It was just bare.
Mm-hmm.
They had been nipping, and they nip, and they nip, and they nip, and they nip, and nip, and nip, and it's like they're piranhas.
Yeah.
You know? And so it's not just the one bite that gets him, it's just the multitude of bites. And that's what that coyote was doing to that guy. He was like, well, you know what? If I bite you and I get you bleeding and then I get you scared and I get you running and then I bite you again and again and again and again and again and again, and then you get exhausted.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. And that's the part that I'm like, okay, I don't want that.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where I have a respect, you know, because like they are a predator, but day to day, I don't feel like I'm afraid of them. But when you hear stuff like that and you see stuff like that, I mean, that's exactly what that coyote was doing.
Yeah.
And we've all seen the videos or the trail cam photos of a buck walking with coyotes hanging off of it, or its back end completely bloodied out. You know, I mean, Skinny Pete died getting eaten alive.
Mm-hmm.
Let that sink in. He was fully alive, looking back and seeing those coyotes eat him.
Yeah.
He just did. They didn't, you know. He was just saying, "Come on, get to my femoral artery. Just get in there deep enough and just let me bleed out."
Yeah.
You know. So it's crazy. I mean, it's pretty incredible to think about when you think about what coyotes do, what wolves do, what just general predators do. It's pretty insane.
Yeah.
And just like I said, the ecosystem and the world that they live in, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, the video you're talking about with the coyote chase him down, that made me think of Uncle Zip's story when he got chased down by an emu behind the house.
An emu?
Yeah.
Dude, if you would have bet any amount of money and given me the chance to guess what you were about to say, you would have won that bet 100 times in a row.
It's an unbelievable story.
I could have gone. You could have said an animal chased Zip. You get to decide the animal. If you know the animal, you win $1 million. I would have lost.
He said it was the scariest thing in the entire world.
An emu.
Yeah.
Like on the commercials?
Yeah, like an ostrich looking thing.
Yeah, an emu.
Yeah.
Funny.
Behind the farm.
Do tell.
I feel bad talking about it because Zip tells the story really funny, but.
Well, you know what? Let's just save it.
Yeah.
We'll have to have Zip on, and we'll have to have him tell the story.
There's two funny things that I know happened. The one time he turned around and it was just completely sprayed out like at him. And
like
then
pterodactyl, like coming at him.
And then I'm pretty sure too, he had a 4-wheeler up there and it like basically chased him down on the 4-wheeler and he had to like ditch off into the weeds and like hide from it.
Dang. That's so crazy. Hey man, I'll tell you what, I don't know, you probably don't remember this. There used to be videos, VHS videos. It was called like When Animals Go Wild. And it was like people that had bad experiences with animals, and I just thought that was so cool when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
And like you'd see like a guy like in Yellowstone like standing too close to a bison, and then it would just PBR like throw him over a tree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And of course it was like, watch as this buffalo. Watch the guy gets too close.
Yeah.
Next time you're in Yellowstone, you're gonna think again. And it's like, whoa, and the guy's like just going like head over tea kettle. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to, dude. I wonder if they still make. I could probably find that on like Amazon or something. Those videos would be awesome to watch
Probably. Yeah.
now. Yeah, but that's so. Yeah, you never know. I mean, emu, ostrich, whitetail, coyote. You gotta be careful.
Yeah.
You think you're always the predator, but sometimes you can be even to an emu. You could become prey.
Yeah. It's literally the funniest story of all time. It's so funny,
Oh, that's awesome.
and it's just funny too. Like you just would, like it. I said it, and you probably didn't believe me for a second.
No.
Like,
Well, I think what we need to do is we need to get Zip to come to the Wisconsin show. We'll do a pod at the show, and we'll have him tell that story.
yeah.
I think we need to work that out.
Yeah. He's got a couple good ones.
Oh, that's funny.
Like when he rattled in my cousin or my uncle Johnny in to a decoy.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Rattled him in about 20 yards until he realized it was a decoy, and Zip was sitting on the ground in a brush pile.
Did Zip know he was coming?
Yeah, I saw him from like 200 yards
Saw
away.
him the whole way.
Yeah, and he had Charlie with him, and he's like, Charlie, we're not going to shoot anything tonight, but we're going to have a show. And he said he just started grunting and rattling, and he said Johnny would like peek out and then move a little closer, and then it was middle of October, and he was wearing a blaze orange hat, so Zip was like, I could see where he was the entire time.
That's so awesome.
Rattle him right in.
Oh, that's crazy. Well, I'll tell you what, you hear about states that do that.
Yeah.
Will go out and put a replica or a taxidermy mounted elk or an elk decoy and set it like right off a road with like just a big old 6x6 or a big mule deer buck.
Yeah.
And set up like a sting operation and watch and wait.
Yeah.
And it sounds like it's a slam dunk to try to catch people doing dumb things.
Yeah, there's a TV show. I can't remember what it's called, but it's on YouTube, and it's like old videos, but like every single video every single episode they post, they have a section where they do that. It's literally like a taxidermy deer, but with like a motorized head so it can turn.
Yeah.
And people pull up and shoot it like all the time.
Yikes.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
It's just like it's just so bizarre to even think that would like cross your mind.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. It's literally as soon as fishing game. It's
get down on the ground.
For pretty much. It's crazy. It's freaking crazy.
Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a show on TV called like Game Wardens or something.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, yeah.
That's what it is.
Okay,
That's what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's out in Montana.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've like been clicking through and I've like watched it for a couple minutes and it just makes me really angry.
Yeah,
So
no,
I
some of the stuff that people do is really, really, really crazy.
Well, and I don't know if I've told this story before, but there was a game warden that I used to deal with in Colorado, and he was always really standoffish.
Mm-hmm.
And we were always on the up and up, and we would see him here and there, like at the grocery store or whatever, or just meet him on the road, or we were at a trailhead or at a field driveway. He would drive by or whatever it was, and things came up. You know what I mean? Like things would come up, and so we would talk to him and see him, and like everything was always like we would talk through it. You know what I mean? And he would always check the licenses and everything like that, and da-da-da-da. And I knew him for like years. And he was always like just mad. Not mean, but like not happy. Like not happy. Just like real like, you just felt like he could just, you're like, man, dude, like, and at a certain point I'm like, man, do I rub him the wrong way? Like, what is it? So finally one time he seemed like he was in a better mood. So I just like was off the side with him. And I asked him like, man, did I do something? Like, cause I get this vibe that like, that you don't like me. And he's like, it was funny cause he laughed. He's like, no, that's not it at all. He's like, here's the deal you need to understand. He goes, I really appreciate what you guys do, and you do a really nice job, and you guys are always doing on the up and up. He goes, and I think I've told the story, but that day he watched us shoot an antelope buck.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing. And he was really nice to the client and like whatever. And he goes, but here's the thing. He's like, I'm going to leave here and I'm going to drive 5 miles down the road and I'm going to catch a guy shooting
Yeah, doing something super
antelope
illegal.
bucks right off the road.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go 2 miles down the road after that and an hour later and I'm going to be talking to a guy that's lying about something else.
Yeah.
And he's like, so if I deal with 10 people, if I'm lucky, get one good one in there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, so he goes, I'm sorry, man. It's just kind of like the nature of the job.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, man, that kind of sucks,
Yeah, no doubt.
you know? But yeah, it's just, there's a lot of stupid things out there that happen.
Yeah, for sure.
We got way off subject.
Yeah, we
We
down a
went
deep dark hole.
way down the rabbit hole.
So what's another thing that we can do right now?
Throttle way back. Let's throttle way back. We got to get the episode on this. We're not even in the same, like, we got to get it on the same ball field.
Mhm.
We're not even in the parking lot. We're on
Yeah.
we're on our way home right now.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the next thing?
One of the things that I like to do this time of year is just go through all my gear
Yep.
and just organize everything, make sure, think about stuff that I could potentially use for next year or what I might need. For example, I need to refletch some arrows and
Yep.
just stuff
Shout
like
out
that.
to George Firenok.
Yep. Going to be seeing him at the shows. I got to get all those ready for him. But yeah, just stuff like that. Honestly, I've been really happy this year with kind of my kit, I would guess you could say.
Listen to you. I've been pretty happy with my kit. All jokes aside, I'm right with you. I think you're on track. It's good to look at your gear and think about, because it's funny because it feels so far away.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's January, but before you know it,
Yeah.
it's gonna be here.
Well,
And-
I probably wouldn't even think about it, but it's just the fact that we are going to the shows and you can find some good deals on stuff if you need something,
Absolutely. No, 100%. No. And I'll tell you what, I am definitely thinking about it. I mean, for me, I'm thinking about what I need for gear for Alaska. I'm thinking about it because, again, it's not only just evaluating gear from the year before, but it's financially planning for, okay, what am I
Yeah.
thinking about?
Mhm.
It's like, okay, I've got between now and, the fall, what else do I have to buy? I've got a whitetail deer mount I got to pay for. I've got a replica mount I got to pay for. It's like there's all these things, so you're trying to figure it all out and fit it all in. And what do I need? What do I want?
Yeah.
No, I think it's a great time of year. I mean, there's different seasons, and we're obviously coming out of the hunting season, but I feel like now we're kind of in the preparation season.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, what do I need for gear? What can I do better? What can I do differently?
Mm-hmm.
How can I try to position myself, in a better way for success?
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
for sure.
And whether that's, like I said, gear when you're going to be on the side of the mountain, or how did I not harvest that deer this year? What
Right.
went wrong? What went right? What could have made the difference?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? And I
Yeah.
feel like, and again, the consumer shows is a great time of year to try to capitalize on that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of guys, a lot of the manufacturers are at, anywhere across the country. So there's lots and lots of shows.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
And like you said, and it's funny because we actually hear that on the phones this time of year. Like some of the guys that we talk to right now are the guys that are kind of licking their wounds.
Mhm.
I'll tell you what, I didn't get him. Kind of had a rough season. I got winded.
Right. Yep.
I worked all summer. I had food plots. I did everything. I put myself in the right position, and he got on the downwind side,
Mm-hmm.
and he turned and he blew, and he ran off, and I never saw him again.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this.
Yeah. For
Sure. And so, it's a great time of year to be thinking about gear,
Mm-hmm.
and or as you would say, your kit.
Mm-hmm.
What are you what are you thinking about what are you thinking about trying to improve with your kit? I know what you should talk about. I think what you're talking about improving is a really good idea.
What?
We just talked about it.
The Leatherman?
No, that's a good idea too, but not that.
The straps?
Yes.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Yeah, no, just on my saddle I have
Because what saddle are you using? You're using the tethered what?
the tethered Ultralock SD it's called. And so it's got like a suspender system on it, but the only gripe I really had with it is the suspenders are super stretchy.
Mm-hmm.
And when I have it really loaded down, it really the saddle weighs it down really hard and it stretches it really bad. So I was thinking about maybe buying marsupial, they make, shoulder straps that you can put on like various bags that they have, or like for example, like I have their gear pods. You can put it on there and then
Which
make it into
those are sick as all get out.
yeah, and you can make it into a backpack. But I was thinking, well, maybe I could put those onto the tethered saddle just to kind of make it more rigid, I guess you could say, and just kind of more of like a set length.
And you double checked, and it integrates in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it does. It has the same clip
System.
or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I might do that. The only thing is the tethered ones, they're real nice and small and thin.
Yep.
And I can still put my bino harness on, whereas with the marsupial ones, it might be a little bit too thick to wear that plus the bino harness. So
Oh, really?
it's just going to be a lot going on, but
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. It's funny because I used to years and years ago, I didn't use a bino harness. I'd have binos on just a normal strap, and I would just put it over one arm.
yeah.
And then I'd throw them behind me. And when I would guide, I did that a lot. I just had them and I could just pick them up, and then I just push them behind me.
Yeah.
And then when I would bow hunt, I'd do the same thing, and I would just have my rangefinder like in a pocket. And maybe that's what you could do if you really like those straps. Maybe you just go back to like a normal strap, and like your Fanatic set has got that really cool pocket right here for a rangefinder.
Right.
And so maybe you run a rangefinder right there, and then you just can grab it, pull it out, or you can just have your binos and kind of push them out of the way. And it's not it would be tight against your body where that's going to be, and then that would just kind of stay out of the way.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what you do.
Yeah, for sure. But other than that, I really have nothing that I'm really looking at. So, I mean, I'm going to get my arrows refletched and stuff like that.
I'm excited about about your arrows. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
Yeah.
It should be good.
I don't know what I'm thinking about for gear. I need a pair of boots.
Boots, for sure.
Gosh, I need a pair of boots. You know what's funny is I thought about doing, we were talking about this earlier. I thought about taking my old Kennetrek boots to the Harrisburg show because those guys that are there are actually the Kennetrek's guys.
Oh, yeah.
And just being like, hey guys, check this out.
Right.
They might not laugh because they look so beat up, but
Well,
they've just been,
it's been beat up from use.
yeah. I mean, those boots have been through the ringer.
Yeah.
But man, I like those boots.
Yeah.
And I feel like those Kennetrek boots are perfect for Iowa. They could be, I guess, maybe kind of overkill.
Yeah.
But man, I really like them.
Yeah.
And they, like those 400-gram insulated ones, they are warm.
Yeah.
Man, I've had good luck with them. And they're so dang comfortable.
Yeah.
To walk in, man, they're comfortable.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I thought about maybe I've kind of been tossing around. And I'll tell you what, the other thing that you and I have said about gear that we've been talking about is I feel like you can never have enough of these as stands. Gosh.
Yeah, that's a big one right now. Especially this year, me and Cole, we did a lot of just preset double sets.
Yeah.
We just slapped another tree or another stand up in the tree just so when we're filming together, we can just crawl up and do that. Whereas years past, we just always had one stand and then we would just hang it before. But this year, we just hung everything basically, and it was awesome. But now we have one stand left.
I have nothing left.
We literally have only one.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to get a couple more of them just to have a couple more options potentially.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Talking about some stands.
yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, I mean, sometimes when I kind of look back at that at the season, sometimes I like the fact that we had them preset, but I also feel like that when you have stands set, especially when you're trying to do double sets and you already have them both set up, it kind of pushes you towards that routine and makes you unintentionally and intentionally go to those spots when maybe we're not as open-minded to go to other spots.
Yeah, probably.
Does that make sense? And all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, we don't have a stand available, and that's just nice that you don't have to fiddle around and set a second stand. Whereas in years past, when we just had what we had set, it was nice because we would just go wherever we were going to go.
Well, and I think even more so, I agree with what you're saying 100%, but I think the biggest thing is like every time this year that we wanted to go do a little hang and bang, we were like, crap, we only have one stand.
Yeah.
So we'd have to go to another spot, pull the stand down and go hang another one.
Yeah, we did one too many.
Yeah.
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 And honestly, yeah, because we have doubles in the flat, the corner, new middle, and double on the tongue. and the river. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have 5.
Yep.
And we don't need to have doubles on all of the corner, new middle, and the flat.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure is nice.
Well, yeah, it is nice, but it uses them all up.
No, I know.
It uses them all up.
I know.
I mean, I think double on the river makes sense. Double on the tongue makes sense.
Yeah.
But even double on the tongue, arguably, that's super easy to set another one because it's a nice double stand platform.
Yeah,
That's
that is easy.
You're not like so.
It's a really good tree too.
Yeah, so maybe that's the one that you take out and then you have that available. And
Yeah.
but yeah, we've got a lot of, and it is nice to have double sets.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we've been scouring Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like we kind of missed.
There was a couple of really good ones that we
Kind of missed the opportunity.
Yeah.
There were some really good ones during the fall.
Yeah.
Or like late in the fall, like right when season got over.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just basically kind of like right after the peak of the rut.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was sort of smoker deals. Well, and I think that's such a fine line too, because I'm not a big fan of like uber cheap stands.
Yeah, I'm not either. They kind of sketch me out.
Yeah, uber cheap stands. I don't like the idea of falling. I'd rather be in something that I feel really good about.
Yeah. Not only falling, but just overall comfort.
Yeah.
And I know you talk about this all the time. Cole's normally the one doing the hanging. But I've hung a couple. I helped my cousin Ray hang one, and it was one that didn't have any adjustability. And at that point, I really realized like how much of a difference the adjustability within the platform, the seat, even being able to hang it on a stand that is kind of crooked and you can get the far end of the teeth hooked on there and stuff like that. I really noticed it there. It was really hard to hang, and it's like, man, that's why you pay a little bit extra to get all that adjustability. It just makes it so much better. And plus too, there's a couple times this year in a couple of the spots where for some reason it was hurting my feet really bad, and so we would figure out a way to get my weight off of it, and Cole would adjust it down one, and it was just like made it perfect.
Yeah.
So
no, and you're hit the nail on the head. I mean,
Yeah.
that is very well said. I mean, I feel like there's kind of different people fall into different buckets. If you're the person that you've got just a stand of just straight trees and you just know what you're going to get,
Yeah.
or you've already scouted out and know kind of like these are the trees I'm going to set and I know I've got good straight trees, then going and getting the $150 and under
Yeah.
like special or deal or whatever the discount one is on a smoker of a deal, or the Facebook Marketplace, like, wow, this one's $40.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or the Menards special or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I've been there, done that too. You know what I mean? And as a younger person, like I didn't have the disposable income. I felt like to
Right.
go, oh, I'm going to just go buy a really expensive stand. So I just had cheap ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like you kind of fall into that bucket, or you fall into the bucket of like, I don't have straight trees and I really need to have the adjustability of the platform.
Yeah.
Cause like you said, that's the real big line in the stand sorry.
Literally.
Yeah. No pun intended. Line in the sand with tree stands is, does it have that platform level adjustability?
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't, it's usually cheaper. And if it does, it usually costs a bit more.
Yeah.
And it's just, to your point, that leveling gives you so much more versatility.
Oh yeah.
And I have a few stands. Well, we took it out. We had the middle stand. That was a non-adjustable, a non-leveling platform stand.
Stand in the woods, you mean?
Yeah. What did I say?
Middle stand.
Yeah, stand in the woods. Sorry.
Yeah.
Stand in the woods was a non-leveling platform. And what did that one do?
That was a wicked tree too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and that was what I had. So that's what I and that's what I bought, and that's what I paid for. And I was like, this is what I can afford. So here we go.
Yeah.
And it was always a pain because your body's like this, and your feet are like this, and it just like it's weird to think, but it like cuts off the circulation. It's uncomfortable. Sometimes I like feeling like I'm leaning into the tree, like it's pulling me back towards it rather than leaning me out forward.
Oh yeah.
But then there's other times when you get in a tree that isn't straight, it's leaning forward just a skoshire, and it's the right spot to be. And so then to be able to really take the platform and really bring it back up towards you
Yeah.
and just give you that little extra where it doesn't feel like you're just all of a sudden falling off of it.
Yeah.
Because that is a not good feeling.
Yeah.
That is not good feeling at all. Where all of a sudden you just feel like if you just close your eyes and let yourself balance, you would end up on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because I'm surprised that on like the low end tree stands that they just haven't integrated that in.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting.
It doesn't feel like it's, and I'm getting outside of my depth on this whole thing. I don't know all that about tree stands, like what it really comes down to, but it just seems odd, like just looking at it, that they can't figure out a way to just integrate.
Yeah.
It's just grooves, right? Like where it just clips in.
Yeah,
So
it's all built the same. It's the same cord that goes to the bracket of the
yeah.
main bracket of the stand.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, but like you said, I mean, and it's a testament to the brands that are out there that do have the adjustable platforms. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
It's so huge.
It's really great.
I mean, it's so huge. I mean, that's pretty much everything that I have is adjustable platform, and it's just so nice.
Yeah.
The only one that we got ourselves in a pickle with this year was New Middle.
Yeah, that one was adjusted all the way, and you're still leaning out of it.
It's just a Scotier.
Yeah.
Not bad, but not good.
My stand's money.
That one is sick.
Yeah, that's a sweet little spot.
That we didn't hardly hunt at all.
No.
But had a past no name in that stand.
Yeah.
And I guess on paper, mission accomplished.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, that really worked.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that really worked. And that worked from a tree stand and from an ozonics perspective that day, because that wind wasn't perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of knew something was up, and he kind of did the straight leg up, like, oh, hold on a second, and he kind of checked, and then the two behind him were like, come on, let's go, and then he's like, all right, and then he just walked right through it. Yeah, directly downwind, totally broadside, and then was off. But that deer could have been dead.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, again, I think you're right on track. It's a great time of year. Again, there's different seasons that we're going through, and we're definitely coming into this season of preparation.
Yeah.
What can we think and what can we do to prepare for the upcoming season? I know that seems crazy to say when it just got over, but,
It's deer season 365 days a year for me.
Yeah, me too.
I mean,
And it's not even about deer season. It's just hunting.
Yeah.
It's hunting for me 365.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, I mean, you think about it, like when we're turkey hunting, there's been so many times where we end up sitting there talking about deer hunting. When we're deer hunting, we're talking about turkey hunting. It's just always.
If we're deer hunting or turkey hunting, I'm talking to you about sheep hunting.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's just always something.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think one last thing too.
Yeah.
This time of year, which is probably my favorite thing to do, is like buck inventory.
Ooh.
Like I like to keep my cameras out just a little bit longer. I think last year we pulled them pretty quick, if I remember correctly.
No, I think we left it. Remember? Or no, that we did. We pulled them right away, and then we put them, but we had them back out by like mid-March.
Yeah,
so we
really
literally
early.
pulled them down for like 4 weeks, and then we're like, no, we are going to go back out there.
Yeah, it was. Because I think the tricky part is the show season, like, it's kind of like we either do it now or it's going to be 2 or 3 weeks from now. So it's like, oh, we'll just get them back out and see what's kicking around.
Yeah.
But it's just fun to see what you could be potentially chasing next year. And I think as this season closes and the amount of bucks that we were really kind of honing in on and like getting consistently, I think next year could be super fun.
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you what, the other thing to piggyback off of that, we talk about having kind of our summer spots for trail cameras. We talk about, I guess I would say like our pre-rut spots, our rut spots, our post-rut spots.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly feel like the fifth is your like out of season spots.
Yeah.
Because that little deal that you jab in the ground, that little stand that you have, that would be like, this is the time of year where you don't always have to let them soak, but maybe you don't leave them where they are.
Oh yeah.
Go where the deer are. Where are the deer right now? That big scratched out spot in the middle of the field, that's where they're going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so take a stick, get it in the ground the best you can, and put a camera on it.
Yeah.
There's not going to be a farmer out there plowing.
Yeah.
You're not going to be working the ground. As long as you're respectful and you get it out of there before he does anything, which is easy to do.
Yeah.
Put your cameras out in the middle of the field. Put them out where the deer are.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Seriously. I think there's value in that because that's where the deer are.
Yeah.
I just saw a guy the other day. he he had a huge like bag, like a bag that you had to use like a skid loader. It was like on a pallet of oats.
Oh yeah.
And he broke the bottom of it, and they drove back and forth, and he laid out a bunch of oats, and he's like, okay, and here.
Yeah.
It was near nothing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But guess what? It's great way to figure out what's out there.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and I would love to know. Obviously, I would love to know if Zombie's still alive. I would really love to know if Brutus made it through. Brutus is the Brutus is the only one that I care about.
Yeah.
I really want to see
Bentley
Brutus.
will be big next year if he makes it.
Yeah.
I'm
Bet-
excited to see what Billy Nobrow looks like.
Oh,
We just had him on camera yesterday. I don't think he's going to amount to much, but it's just sometimes I get interested in deer that
how old do you think he is?
I bet he's probably 3 this year.
That's what I was. Well, I was going to say 2 this year.
No, there's no way he was a 1-year-old last year. I think he's probably 3. He's got to be 3. He's
Okay.
got a pretty big body on him.
Okay. So, okay. I hear what you're saying. So, yeah, if he was 4 next year,
Yeah, I think it's just kind of cool.
is he going to wisen up?
Probably not. No, I'd guess no. Well, I mean, you think about it with him. I mean, we only saw him in daylight one time. Well, no, I take that back. I saw him one other time, but we only saw him twice.
Yeah. Yeah, Bentley's going to be a really good deer.
Yeah, he'll be a stud.
Yeah. Bentley's going to be bigger than Skinny Pete was.
For sure. I'm pretty confident that he's probably bigger than Skinny Pete right now.
Close. Very close. That's going to put Bentley in the 130 to 140 range for sure. 140 range.
I would guess 140 next year.
Yeah, he's going to put him in the 140 range.
That's my guess. Just because he's got great brows, he's got good 2s and 3s, and he's got it all pretty much. The one thing that he's lacking is spread.
Yeah.
Other than that, he's got it. And he's already a 9.
Yeah, I know. Bentley's going to be really, really interesting.
Yeah.
And obviously, goes without saying, what is Brutus going to do? First, live. That's what we hope he does. And then if he lives,
Blow up. I
mean,
bet you if we see him again.
Is he a 4.5-year-old deer? Is he a 5.5-year-old deer?
I think he's 5 looking back at pictures.
So if he's a 5.5-year-old deer, now he's 6.5. So all of a sudden, guess what he's going to do? He's going to mass city that thing.
Yeah, well, and they say a lot of times that like between like 5 and 7, that's normally where their biggest jump is. So
my
he could
goodness.
be really big if he's there, and I'm very confident that he will. We've had him every single year.
I know we have.
We've had him every year since I started. Well, since I've been here.
I'll tell you what, I'm jumping subjects here big time, and we said we were going to talk about this, but then this idea of this podcast came in. I'm just saying it. My only hunting New Year's resolution, no, I have 2 of them. One is I'm not going to shoot. Client's going to shoot another sheep this fall in August. It's going to be awesome. And I'm going to manifest that I know what sheep it's going to be. It's going to be this dark horn one that we saw this year that I think was 7, and we're killing that guy. And the other thing that's happening, Brutus is hitting the ground.
Book it, pencil it. See you next week.
I'm telling you, dude. Like, that's like mission. I am like, that is going to be what I'm after. And I'll tell you what, I would be totally fine if it was me or if it was you. That's like an us goal.
Oh yeah,
I would be tickle pink if it was me, but I would be just as tickle pink, honestly. And I know it means more to you than it means to me, so that makes it mean more to me to have you do it. If that makes any sense.
I definitely don't care who kills it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like it would mean more to me to see you do it because I know how much it
yeah.
means more to you than it does me.
Yeah.
And so I would love to see Brutus hit the ground because he is going to be, and it's like, and it kind of feels like this culmination of like all of this.
Well, dude,
That's the way I felt about that deer that I passed during the depredation summertime.
Yeah.
That walked by at 12 yards. That felt like a defining moment.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I beat you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then World Traveler, that was almost the arc of the story, and it pinnacled in us harvesting that deer. And I feel like Brutus is on that same. He's on that same storyline.
Well, the really cool thing with Brutus is he has completely flown under the radar for now. Is this my 3rd season hunting here, or
Yeah.
second, or fourth.
This is your third because
This is my third,
The
yes.
first year you didn't have your residency.
No, I did.
Yeah, you did, but you didn't hunt.
I hunted like 3 times.
Yep, and then last year
Hunted a little bit more.
you hunted more, and then this year you hunted a lot more.
Actually, no, I think I probably hunted more last year. This year we balanced it out way more
Oh yeah.
between filming and
Yeah,
hunting.
you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Last year was a lot more just
Yeah.
hunting.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he's totally flown on the radar. Like, we've had him every single year. Last year was a nice buck. I remember getting one picture of him. I'm like, oh dang, that's a cool deer.
Yeah.
And he was kind of all over. And the year before, he was down in Thurble Hub a bunch, like he was this year. It's just freaking sweet because I really have a good feeling that if he's alive,
He's
be there.
home ranging on us.
yeah,
might
really
not
hard.
live might not live right on us, but he's rutting on us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's like,
I think the more I think about it, the more I think he lives on us a little more than we think. I mean, we had a bunch of velvet pictures of him
yeah, on the river,
on the river. Yeah, only on the river.
only on the river.
And I couldn't find any pictures of him in velvet from the years before, so maybe not.
But no, yeah, that's my big hunting resolution is get a sheep in Alaska, and we need to figure out like Brutus sit in the ground.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, oh man,
Yep. I know. I think that's very attainable. I think he's going to be there, and it's not going to be because of lack of trying.
yeah.
So,
Oh man,
pencil it in, folks. Pencil it in.
take it to the presses.
Take it to the presses. What now?
I just made that saying up, but I don't know if that's the thing. But
Hot off the press.
hot off the press is what I meant to say. I'll tell you what, I've been doing really good on analogies. I've been on a roll, but that was a bad one. I apologize.
Alfalfa's looking ready to cut. All we got to do is bail and put her in the haymow.
All right. On that note, I think we wrap it up.
Yep.
All right. Ozonics Killerwinds podcast, another one in the books. The Nuke, me. Thanks for listening. Hey, now what? Now it's time to have some more fun. Hunting season's, deer season winding down. Still get after it.
Let's roll. See you next week.
Stay classy.